Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and thank you for joining me for another video. This is Marquita from At Home with Quita, and here I share tips on how to plan a productive life. So if you're new here, I hope you'll consider subscribing. So in today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you 10 ways to stay consistent with using your planner. So let's get into it. So planning is a great way to stay productive, to get organized, and to get things done. But do you find it actually hard to use your planner and stay consistent with it? Well, that's what we're going to talk about today. So I'm going to share with you some tips and tricks that have helped me along the way. So the first step to this whole journey, and really is the fundamental to it all, is your why. Why did you buy this planner? Did you buy it for tracking goals? Did you want to plan every day? Did you want to finish a full year of this planner? What is the reason why you went and purchased this planner? Figure that out, write it down, and remind yourself of that daily. So the second way to be more consistent with your planner is to schedule it in. So I like to have time on the previous night where I go into my planner and I check to see what we have going on for that next day. So I'll come here to the calendar, I'll check on, let's say we're on a Monday, I'll check to see what we have going on Tuesday. I'll also check my to-do list to see what to-do list items that I may be able to accomplish on that particular day of the week. I also have a master to-do list. I'll check here as well, see if I can take anything off of this to-do list and add it to my week. So schedule it in, schedule time, whether the night before, to review your planner and your plans to see exactly what you have going on, or you can check that the morning when you wake up prior to getting started for your day. So I do both. I check the night before, and then when I wake up in the morning, I'll go ahead and check the morning just to see again and confirm my plans and make sure that I know what my focus is going to be for that day. Because when you start planning, you need to make sure that you use it every day. And to make sure you use it daily, you have to schedule it in. So find a time that works best for you. Again, I personally like to do it twice, the day before and early in the morning, and even try and set a specific time of day in the evening and that next morning to make sure that you're staying consistent with that time. And your brain already knows that that is the time of day that you're going to be checking your planner to see what you've got going on for the next day and the week. You can even take it a step further and set a reminder on your phone for 7 a.m. in the morning. Let's say you want to check your planner, or at night. Let's say you want to check it at 9 to 10 o'clock at night. Set a reminder on your phone just in case you're the type of person that may forget. And so that will remind you to be able to check the planner at that specific time every day. So when you schedule it like that, that means that you've decided to take action. So take a look at your schedule and find time for planning time. It can be as little as 5 to 10 minutes. Just make the time. So the third tip is to make it part of your routine. So I recently did a video on my channel where I shared with you guys my routine. So this is how my routine works. I have a morning, afternoon, evening routine, and so on and so forth. I have after school, cleaning, work, faith, self-care, Sunday home, family enrichment, which I'm working on rewriting. That's why you see those blank sections. This is it, and I'm transferring it because I didn't like the way my handwriting looks. But make sure to schedule it into your daily routine, and so that way it becomes more of a habit. And the key to making planning a daily habit is by integrating it into your daily schedule. So try to make it a habit, again, to do it at the same time every day. So as you see for me in the morning, and I don't have a time tied to it, but my brain at this point knows to check it immediately as soon as I get up, I have check your planner. So this isn't a list that I am checking anything off of. This is just for reference so that I know exactly what I'm doing on a day-to-day basis. And for the most part, I do already know all of this stuff, but I like to have it written in here just so I can check it and make sure that I'm not forgetting anything. So write it in your morning routine and write it in your evening routine if you decide to do it 2 times per day. If you just want to do it in the morning before you get started, write it in. And so that way when you're checking to make sure that you're doing everything until this becomes a habit, you'll see it written there and you know that you need to check your planner in the morning. And be sure to also make make checking into your planner a habit in your routine. So I like to touch base with my planner multiple times a day. So I have my personal planner here, and then I also have my business and social media planner. And these planners typically stay on my desk downstairs while I'm working because the majority of my hours are spent working for Fancy Plans Co. So I typically have it set up like this on a desk downstairs. So I'll have my weekly open in my personal planner, catch-all planner, and then I'll also have my weekly open in my business and social media planner. So that way I can toggle back and forth between the two. I can see what needs to be done for business and I can see what needs to be done personally, and I can make sure that I'm getting everything done, because sometimes personal things need to be done during the business workday and sometimes business stuff needs to be done during the personal part of the workday. So that's why I like to have both of them nearby, so that way I can constantly check off the things that I know I need to complete for both business and for personal. So because we're trying to form a new habit, you may want to write that in here as well. Just write check planner in the morning, check planner in the afternoon, check planner in the evening. So that way, until your brain realizes that this is something that you're going to be doing for a long time, you will be able to remind yourself of that by simply coming here to look at the pages, write it on a sheet of paper, however you decide to do your routine, or again, schedule a reminder in your phone so that you know different times of the day that you want to check your planner. So regular check-ins or reviews about your plans is going to ensure that the plan is moving in the right direction. And it's going to hold you accountable and help you review what is happening and make changes as necessary. So do a morning check-in, do an afternoon check-in, and do an evening check-in, just to ensure that you're always staying on task with all the things that you want to do. And of course, in turn, you'll be more consistent and eventually it'll become a habit and you'll be doing that just through second nature. The next tip is to use a checklist. Now, you guys know I love lists in general, but I do have a specific checklist that I keep in my monthlies that travels from month to month. So that is in August, because we are pretty much done with July, so we are moving into August soon. And so this is my master checklist of everything that I know I need to plan for on a monthly and weekly basis, and I don't want to forget about these things. So I keep this here. I don't check anything off. All I literally do is use it for reference so I can make sure that I'm not forgetting to do things. And it's a vague checklist, so it's to call. Who do I want to call? I want to think about that and I want to write that here, and then eventually this stuff will transition over to my weekly spread. Are there any anniversaries this month? I want to go ahead and write those in the monthly calendar, and then again all of that gets transferred week by week. Are there any outings I want to go to? Any to-do list items I want to make sure I don't forget about? The ministry, and then also when it comes to to-do lists, I'll look at the previous week, the last week of this month, and I'm going to transition all of this stuff from this to-do list onto the to-do list for August. So I'll make sure to get as much done as possible, and then whatever is left over is going to transfer to the next month. And then again, I was talking ministry. What days do I want to make sure that I am doing my ministry? Are there any bills I need to pay for that month? Bible study ideas, cleaning schedule, family worship. There's a ton of things here that I want to make sure that I don't forget about. So create a checklist that you can use in your planner month by month so you don't forget these things. I do also have another checklist in my personal section, which has some other things that maybe from time to time I may want to track, but it's not going to be like these things. These are super important and I have to do these things. There's some other things that you can track in your planner if you want to have a little fun with it, and that may not be necessities for you, but you may want to track new restaurants you want to try. You may want to have a bucket list, some memories you may want to write on the calendar. So there's other things that you can track in your planner on your monthly and weekly spreads, but create a checklist for whatever those items may be. Keep it in the monthly or the weekly and transition that or transfer that from month to month to keep you on track with all of those things that you need to plan for. And it makes planning easy because you have a clear direction. You're not fumbling around trying to think of how to use this planner, what to write in it. You may think you don't have plans, which is why I think a lot of people get a little bit overwhelmed with a big planner like this because they feel like they don't have anything going on. So what are they going to plan for? But if you sit down and create a checklist like this, you'll come up with some things that you do need to plan for that may not necessarily be outings. It's just things that you want to make sure that you're tracking in your planner to keep you on track with all of those things you need to do throughout your life. And that may be a reason why you're failing at planning consistently, because you don't have a checklist like this. So create a checklist that you can follow, because also when you don't have a checklist, you often miss things and your plans can slip through the cracks. And so what we're doing is we're focusing on building a system, a planning system. So set rules for when you're going to plan, how you're going to plan, and what you're going to plan. And so this checklist is going to be important for that process. Okay, so this is my process in terms for preparing myself for the next month using my checklist. So of course, everything is all done for August, but let's say this was not done and everything was all empty. So what I would do is I would sit down with my checklist. I also have some inbox sticky notes, which work out so well. Just to give you an idea of how they look, if you've never seen these before, these are fairly new to the shop. We also have some other sticky notes that work well with these, project sticky notes. Then we also have some follow-up sticky notes which look very similar to these. But specifically these, I keep these in my planner because I use them prior to the month, every single month, to do some pre-planning. So what I'll do is I'll look at my checklist and I'll say, who do I want to call? This is where I'm specific. So this is vague, superficial stuff that helps me to be able to just make sure that I get it all done just at a ground level. And this is where I'm going to get really super specific so I can make sure that I'm saying things by name and just being very specific with exactly what I need to do. So is there anyone that I need to call? I'm going to put the name down. And if I want to call them on a specific date, I'm going to put down that date. Now, I'm not going to use the checklist field here because I'm just literally going to stick this on my monthly spread that's empty. And when I get ready to actually sit down and plan for the month, I have this inbox here so that I can use this to transfer everything onto the actual month when I get ready to decorate it and do that stuff. So I'm going to go and I'm going to say whose anniversary is this month. I'm going to write that in and I'm going to write the date of the anniversary. Everything on this checklist may not be included in the inbox because there's no need to really be that specific with it, like to-do list. In terms of my to-do list, I'm literally going to look at the last week of that month on the to-do list, and I'm going to see what I wasn't able to accomplish. I'm going to take that and I'm going to transfer that to the next checklist to-do list that I create for the first week of August. So some of this stuff is just, for reference, like bills. I know I need to pay bills on the same day every month, and I don't want to forget to write those bills in here. That's why I have it on this checklist, but I don't need to write the dates of those bills on this inbox. And then I'll just keep literally going down the list to see if there's anything that I want to put on this inbox that I want to be specific about, and I want to make sure that I write in all of the details for it, so that way I can take this, I can stick it right here on my monthly spread until I get ready to plan, and I have all of the specific dates and times and details of those particular events. So that's why this checklist is so important to me. It's the foundation of my whole entire planner system, and being able to plan everything out is going to start right here with the checklist because it starts with my month and my at-a-glance year as well. So when it comes to my at-a-glance year, you guys have seen that before. This is my starting point. I literally dump it all here when I know that there's something that I want to do, or we're going somewhere, or something's coming up. I'll plan it out here. I have my whole entire rest of the year planned out. And so then I'll come for August. I'll take all of these appointments here since I do already have specific dates for them. I don't have to put them in the inbox, and I'll go ahead and dump them out on the month when I actually get ready to sit down and plan my month. I'm going to reference this, and then I'm going to reference the sticky note that I have at the corner of the planner that has all of the other specific dates and times that are not included on the at-a-glance pages. So checklist, create yourself a checklist. I guarantee you it's a great foundation to be able to take and use that to plan out your monthlies, and then you can take all of the information from the monthly and transition that to your weekly spread. It's going to be filled in with lots of beautiful things that you need to get done. You'll feel like you're accomplishing things because you're actually able to check off all of those things, and you'll be able to see that you do actually have more plans going on than you think you do. You'll also need to decide on your goals for the month. So this is something that you'll probably want to write here on your checklist, which I don't have on my checklist, are goals for the month, because that is something that you definitely want to track. So I can go ahead and just write that in. So you'll want to make sure that that is a part of this plan as well. And then check tasks off. So again, use a checklist to be able to write in all of the things you want to plan for. Set rules for when you're going to plan, how you're going to plan, and what you're going to plan. And that will help to ensure success and to make sure that you are staying consistent using your planner. So the next tip is to plan for failure and ignore those negative feelings when you do fail. So when you run into an obstacle, don't allow yourself to get emotionally down. Whether you get sick and stop planning for a week, or if you lost your planner, which has happened to some, when you run into a problem, you get an opportunity to learn how to fix the problem. Your failures don't define you. It's hard for everyone. We all have those weeks where we just don't feel like planning. It is okay to miss a week. Don't let yourself get down about it or feel like you are a failure at this thing. Just jump right back on the bandwagon, get back started, start where you left off, and keep moving forward. So try and push through the discomfort and keep planning. There's also going to be times when you feel like the way you plan just isn't working for you, whether it's not functional for you or not pretty enough. This is when you need to just ignore it and focus on your planning. Try to at least stay consistent with your planning for a little while, maybe about a month, before you switch to a different system, because to be honest with you, you need enough time to be able to see if that system is really working for you. And in terms of pretty planning, of course, we all love a good sticker from time to time, but there are weeks literally where I just wrote in my plans, and that is a-okay. You don't always have to plan pretty. Of course, planning pretty does for me make me want to use my planner a little bit more, so I try to be diligent with that. But there are some times when I literally just take a pen and I will write in all of my plans for the week, and that works just as well. So don't get yourself down about having to plan pretty or feeling like you need to keep up with that. Just start by planning it out, and eventually that other stuff will come. And also, in terms of switching planners, if you keep doing that too often, that's going to result in never finding planner peace. And also, stop comparing your planner to other people's planners. This is your planner. This has to work for you. Their system works for them, and they have found the system that's working best for them. And that is what your journey is all about right now. You're on the journey to finding what is going to work for you to make you the most productive person and get the most done. So don't compare your planner to my planner. Don't compare your planner to anyone else's that you see on social media. That is their system, and you are working on developing your system. We are all on the road to finding planner peace, but that's going to look different for you. So focus on yourself and your planner, and think about how much more organized you're going to be once planning becomes a habit. The next tip, and I think we all know this by now, is you have to keep your planner visible. So this is my planner bag, and within this bag, I keep all of my planner supplies that I need for planning. Pretty much, on the surface level. There are also other things that I use for planning that may not be in this bag, which are on my cart over here. So those things, of course, are not going to fit in my bag. But this is the main bag that I carry throughout the whole entire house, which has both of my planners in it. So this is my catch-all planner here that you guys have been seeing throughout this whole video, and then my business and social media planner is here, and both of these planners fit very nicely in this bag. I do have a video on my channel with how I keep this bag organized and kind of how everything is set up in this bag and what all I have in this bag. But basically, both of those planners sit right here in this bag. I carry this bag all throughout the house with me. So when I get up in the morning and I go down for work, I carry this bag downstairs. I hang it on the door down there, and I pull both of my planners out. So that is my routine. Every day, my brain is already programmed to know that that is what I'm doing. I'm going to pull out those planners and set them on the table. I keep them both open, like I mentioned to you guys earlier. So they're both going to be open on the table downstairs, how I showed you, both flip to the week. And so that way I can look at them both simultaneously. And so that's kind of how they're going to sit on the desk. So that way I can see them both. And then when I'm done for the day, I close them up and I stick them back in this planner bag, and I bring them upstairs, and it sits on the floor next to my bed. So this helps so much, because what that means is that anytime I have a thought or an idea, I can literally grab my bag, go inside my bag, and pull out my planner and write in that thought. Sometimes I'll even take it a step further, and I'll leave the planners out at night next to my bed. That makes it easy as well to be able to get those ideas out without having to reach down in the bag to grab my planner out of the bag. And it also helps me to be able to look at that planner before I go to bed at night. And then in the morning when I wake up, it's already out. And then when I get ready to go down to work, I can easily put the planners back in the bag, grab this bag, and head on downstairs to work. So I would grab a planner bag or planner tote similar to this this, I did link this in the video where I showed you guys a tour of this bag. And that way you can have everything you need all in one spot. It makes planning easy. It really ensures that you're being consistent with planning, and that is a great way to be more consistent. You have to see your planner in front of you in order to use it. You know that saying, out of sight, out of mind, is very true. If you don't see it, then you're not going to remember to pick it up to write anything in it, and therefore your plans that you have been writing in are not going to be visible and seen and not going to be able to be accomplished. So keep your planner somewhere nearby in front of you where you can see it. You can easily reach for it and be able to write in all of those things. And that way you can be more consistent with it and you can really make sure that you are achieving all of your goals. The next tip is to keep it simple. And this probably won't be the last time you hear this advice, but keep it simple. If you're just starting your own planner and you're struggling to use it every day, don't make it so complicated. You don't have to use 7 planners or plan with a whole bunch of different inserts. So start with a plain notebook. And then when those pages fill up, or you get new ideas, gradually add in more to your planner. You can also use something like this. This is just a monthly notebook. There are so many different notebooks and planners on the market. Just visit your local hobby store if you're looking for some ideas. But if you just want to start out slow, maybe you just want to plan your monthly. You're not ready to get into that weekly planning life yet. So grab a monthly notebook just similar to this, or again, it could just be a plain notebook with just lined paper inside of it, and go ahead and start planning out this way. Again, we don't have to do the sticker method. We can literally just take the blank pages just like this and write in those appointments with no stickers. And this is a great way to just get your feet wet in planning. Start slow, start simple, and then as your needs change and you start to grow within the community, then you can start adding the stickers if it's something that you want to do, and all of the accessories and things like that, and start building a planner of your own based on what you know you need. So try out a simple method for a couple of months until you figure out exactly what it is that you need. Once you start to develop that, then you can progress into other forms of plannings, different types of notebooks, and different types of systems. So start small, start slow, start by just writing in your plans, and then eventually you'll progress into a more decorative style potentially, or you just maybe get more of a sense of exactly what you need and you'll start adding that to your planner system. Now, I do happen to have 2 planners that I carry with me all throughout the house. Like we mentioned before, I have my catch-all planner, and then I also have my business and social media planner. Within these 2 planning systems, there are several different sections and different types of inserts, but at the core, there's only 2 planners. Now, I know there are a lot of people who lug around 5 or so planners or more. I just can't do that anymore. I used to in the past have multiple planners that I would just carry all around the house with me, and I would write in all those different planners. But consider Franken planning, which means that you're going to have multiple different types of planners within one and have different sections in that planner if you know that there are going to be several different things that you're going to need to plan for throughout your life. So for me, I have calendar, home, meal planning, family, finances, health, faith, school, personal, self-care, brain dump, and lists. So those are all sections within this planner, and they all have different types of inserts within those sections. We'll do a full dedicated video on sections and what to include in sections in a different video. And then in my business and social media, I have calendar, shop goals, finance, brands, reference, blog, Patreon ideas, social media, PR teams, and events. So this gives me everything that I need, but it only has me carrying around 2 planners, which is less overwhelming. And to me, this is still simple. So stick to just 1 planner for everything if possible. While there are planners for specific things, many people benefit from just 1. So again, if you know you need to meal plan, just throw your meal planner in your catch-all planner. If you know that you need to budget plan, throw that in here, so that way you're not carrying around a full year for each of those different types of planners, and that just keeps things simple. And to be honest, having to keep up with more than 1 planner can be time consuming and repetitive. This also avoids any confusion with which planners to write in or which one you need to use each day. So simplify the process by having just 1 planner for that specific aspect of your life. So catch-all life planner, business and social media planner. I have to work and I have to live my personal life. So 2 planners are just fine, or you can consolidate and you can have one planner that has your personal life and your work in here, and you can just split that up into sections and you could be able to track both things in one planner. And I would just start off very simple with just one and try to add those sections within that planner eventually, because maybe you may want to just start out with one and just use it as is until you get your footing, and then you can start to add those sections within it, and then maybe eventually you'll progress to having 2 planners or more depending on what your needs are. But I would start out simple with just one planner. The next tip is to use a planner you love and make it fun. Using a planner you absolutely love is going to encourage you to use it. You'll be excited about opening up every day. So I happen to love my planner. It is aesthetically pleasing to the eye. I love the way it's set up. It's very pretty. I love having pretty things in the planner. I love having certain things throughout so that it gives me a pop of inspiration, like this vellum here that talks about balance. It is my word of the year. So when you flip through my planner, you'll see different things that are more pretty and other things that are more functional. But I love to have photos in here. I love to have vellums. I love to have paper clips in my planner. As you can see, I love sticky notes. I love being able to decorate things with little pops of color here and there. As you can see, I also have 2 pens here. So this planner is set up the way that I love it, and that makes me want to open it up every day and use it. So set your planner up with the things that you love. Eventually, over time, starting out, you may not be able to do this because there are a lot of accessories and things on the market that can overwhelm you. And the key here is to not overwhelm you, because sometimes when you are overwhelmed, that is where the consistency is lacking. So don't do all the things initially on. Just slowly incorporate small things into your planner that you know you love, and that'll make you want to open it up and use it every single day. Because planners are fun, and being creative with your planner is going to help your productivity as well. You started this planner journey because of how cute and pretty it was, but now you also want to get organized. So it's a win-win situation. So don't stop decorating your planner if it helps you to be more productive and organized. Find a planner that you love, and you can build one like this one is. I built this from scratch using Fancy Plans Co. products, but there are also planners that are super pretty and fun that you would love that are already put together for you, and you can just use it like that and just add little things here and there. So as you can see, I've got a bow here at the top, which makes everything look good. As well, I have a cover here from Notique, which just initially from looking at it makes me want to hold it because it's just such a pretty cover. And then when you open it up, I just took it a step further with adding other things that I know I love. So fill it up with all the things that you love, and also make it functional with the things that you know you're going to use, because at the end of the day, it isn't just a pretty planner. It's a functional tool that you're going to use to help to get yourself organized. And also keep in mind that you may need to switch things up from time to time. So whether that means taking a different approach, printing new planner pages that are more enjoyable for you to use, or getting a little more creative with how it looks, but make it fun, which in turn will make it a more enjoyable experience. You'll be very excited to get up in the morning and open up your planner and turn to the week and plan out what all you have going on. And I think that's why a lot of us use stickers as well, because it just makes the pages stand out and look more pretty, and it makes you just want to turn to that week and use your planner. I mean, we are visual people. We love pretty things on paper. And so whether that be stickers or adding accessories or pins or bows or whatever that means for you, make it look pretty, make it your own, and that way you'll want to pick this beautiful planner up, which means that will make you more consistent with using it. The next tip is to write it all down. I can't express that enough, the need to make sure you write it all down. And again, this is where the previous tip is going to come into play, when you have to keep it visible in order to write things down. So I literally, because it's nearby me at all times, I write every single thing down. And it starts really for me with my to-do list, my weekly to-do list. This is where I'm coming during the week. If something pops into my head, I'm going to write that down on my to-do list. So as you can see, this is a to-do list of just random things that I know I need to do during the week, but I'm not necessarily sure on when I want to do it. I just know I need to do it. And sometimes these things just stay on my to-do list and they don't necessarily get transferred to the tasks for that week, which is in this section here. This is is my task section where I will come and I'll take these things and add them to this section here. But sometimes I don't know when I'm going to do them, so I'll just literally keep them on the to-do list and check them off from here. But I literally write every single thing down. And so when you come into my routine section, this helps me as well, because this is a great foundation to be able to see what I'm doing at what particular time during the day. So like we have an after school routine. I write all of the things down that I want to make sure that we're doing after school. I write everything down as far as what I want to do for cleaning, for work, for self-care, for faith, for my Sunday routine, for my home routine, enrichment, and family. So this literally is every single thing I know I need to do throughout the day, but there's also things that pop into my mind randomly that I want to make sure that I'm getting done as well. And again, that is where my to-do list comes into play. I'm literally just going to write it down. So make sure you're writing everything down. Everything going on in your life should be in that planner. And this allows you to use it more effectively and have it work for you. And sometimes, y'all, even if something seems insignificant, there's no harm in adding it to your planner. You never know when you're gonna need this information. So as you guys remember, this is my checklist here. This is the basis for being able to write everything in. But again, random things pop in and you can use an inbox similar to what I showed you earlier to be able to write those things down if you want to use this for that as well. In addition to your pre-planning for the month, these are great for anything, or you can use inbox pages. There are several inserts floating around the internet. We even have some in our shop, and you can just kind of keep that in your planner somewhere as a brain dump. And I do actually have that here, my planner as well, just because I have so many random things that come up and I just want to have an outlet to get it out of my head. So I do have an inbox here. And so sometimes when I'm just doing something really quickly, I don't want to pull out sticky notes to write something in that I know I need to do. I'll just literally write it in my inbox, and then I'll take it from here and transition it into either the monthly or the at a glance pages, or that week if I'm in the week and I just want to go ahead and write it in. So this is kind of my brain dump where if I'm in bed and I just know I need to quickly get a thought out, I'm going to come here and write that in first. So everybody needs an outlet to be able to just dump it out. Sometimes you're on the go. You don't really feel like turning to the week, writing it in. You just want to get it out of your head and onto paper. So this is a great way to do that. Even if it's not something like this or a planner, you just want to write it down on a notepad that is available to you as well. Do whatever works for you. And so what happens is with this sort of list or notepad, I'm able to write it down right away without having to think about where it should go or where it belongs on the planner pages. It's out of my head and it's ready for me to take action on. So write everything down. And again, in order to do that, you'll have to be able to see the planner in front of you, so that way you can get out of your head and onto paper. So I literally write everything down that I can think of in the inbox or on whatever page in my planner, and that just helps me to get it out of my head, and there's more of a chance to execute it if it's out of my head and in front of me on paper. All right, you guys, so we are up to the last tip, and it is a very simple tip, and that is to start now. It is never too late to start planning. No matter what's going on in your life, you have to commit to starting now. Don't hold things off until tomorrow, because you know that tomorrow's never going to come. The more you keep saying to yourself, there's always tomorrow, the more you doom yourself. You're just giving yourself an out. So you're giving yourself excuse after excuse not to start, and you're giving into fear. So get started planning now. If it's something that you've always wanted to do, then just go to your local craft store and pick out a simple planner. You can even get one at the dollar store, I believe, has a planner. Everybody has a planner. Or grab a notebook and just start to plan. And if you've got a planner that's been sitting on your shelf for months or for weeks, pull that planner back out, dust it off, and implement these tips and strategies to help you to start being a little bit more consistent and make planning enjoyable for you. And I guarantee you'll see the benefits of them. You'll be more productive. You'll get a lot more done, and that will help you to stay motivated and keep using that planner. So that's it for this video, guys. And remember, this is going to take time. You may not see a difference today, tomorrow, a week from now, or even a month from now. But over the course of a few months or a few years, and it could take a few days for you if you are really diligent about it, you will find yourself in a more happier, fulfilling, and organized life. So that's it for this video, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching today. I appreciate you stopping by my channel. Hopefully you got a little bit of inspiration, which means you'll give me a thumbs up in this video. You will consider subscribing to my channel if you're new here, and you'll come back and you'll catch another one, in which case I will see you then.